Hey, what's up everyone? Just a little bit of an update. We're now in September. Progress on the truck's been relatively slow. That's just basically a lack of funding for projects that need to happen on the truck. As you can see up front here, I have been playing around with I don't know, different paint schemes for the 22-inch transport wheels that I have, and I like this classic look. The dog dishes that I used or are going to use are just, you know, S10 Astrovan 10.5-inch dog dishes, and painted them up that almond color, the same as the inner rim, and the black lip around there is obviously painted. And the reason I did that was I really like this look. I like the look of the taller sidewall. One, I think it's meatier. I think it's, I don't know. I don't want my truck to look like a lowrider truck. I want it to look like a classic hot rod, maybe not necessarily like a race truck, but like, I don't know, just something not lowrider, because that's not what I'm about. So by painting it like that, I feel like it gives it a, you know, a look of a sidewall of a tire. The other reason, or the other beneficial thing, is my scrub rate. Since I'm running blocks on my trailing arms, the Tinworks trailing arms, which I think they came with an inch or an inch and a half lowering block already, you know, welded into their design. I think I have another 2.5 or 3 on top of that. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. I got to think about it. But anyway, if my tire goes flat right now, I lose roughly 5 inches of sidewall. And what that means is, since that block's in between the axle and the trailing arm, pushing the trailing arm down essentially and the axle up, I basically would be dragging trailing arm to get me off the road, which on a slow leak that might not be a big deal, but if I had a blowout, you know, basically I'd be dragging, you know, metal onto the ground, and could result in you know, could just be a bad result. So if I do this and make it look like that, you know, with the sidewall, that tire goes flat, I lose about 2 inches of height, and I'm still up. I'm still not dragging frame because of the 22-inch rim. So that's one thing I've been working on. I have ordered 2 new compressors, an air tank, basically a whole 3/8 inch 3P kit from Airlift. That's on the way. It should be here this Tuesday. The air tank is now mounted on the very rear end of the truck back here, on top of the fuel tank, all the way in the rear. So when I open this hatch, you barely actually see it, which is cool. It's hidden. The compressors are going to go to the left and the right on those sides, so they'll be hidden as well for the most part. And the other thing I've been playing around with is I got some pine boards, rough cut pine boards from a buddy of mine. I think they were actually 1x12s, but once you trim them down, they're about 1x10s, and they're true 1x board. I played around with taking a weed burner, a big propane torch, and basically charring them till they were black, and then sanding them with a wire brush. I don't know. I don't know if I want a wooden bed or not. I am going to try to get some 16 gauge and plate the bed, and then get some 1x3 flat bar and run on top of that steel, other steel like risers, and, you know, just to break it up a little bit and see what that looks like. So like I said, it's been relatively a slow go. There's a lot of little details I'm working on, but the bed has a ton of time in it. You know, you told me, and when I bought this bed, I was like, hey, we'll just buy the bed, we'll cut a hole in the floor, and we'll, you know, set it on the truck to clear the notch, or cut a hole in the floor to clear the notch, and we're gonna run it. Well, I bet, I don't even want to guess how many hours, but the time that I have in this bed is as much time as I have in shortening this chassis, doing the the Rideman Ranch back notch, and doing the front end on this, which it has the chop and block upper and lower control arms. So yeah. The other thing is, since we're going into winter and I'm not going to be driving this truck anyway, I think maybe I have another front cross member. I might pancake it, because as you can see right now, let me get out of the way. The truck is 1.5 inches lower in the rear. You know, back, where's it at? Back here, that fender is touching. You know, and my gap, as I go up through here, my gap gets bigger. So if I got 1.5 inches clearance by pancaking that cross member, she would lay out really nice when parked. So it's a lot of work. It's time consuming, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. Let me get the camera off of here and get it switched around, and I will show you what I did with the air tank. All right, so walking over here, I wanted to tell you too, I forgot to tell you guys that we added this piece of box across the back as a sill. That's the old bed floor, those sections on each side. And this was an old twisted up, rusted out tailgate where the Chevrolet was still good. So this will all get tacked in from the back side, pretty much flush on here. And all of this box will be painted black, and then all of it can get cleared. So that will be pretty sweet. So as you guys know, if you've been following along, I have this deck right here, hinges down there. Got my air struts installed, but it hinges. These are going to be my stops or my locks. Basically, the bed comes down. There'll be holes in the top of it, obviously, to thread those in. And then once you push down on the bed, it will lock it in. All right. These pieces, let me open this up. These pieces are obviously the mounts for those and the stops for this, but they are also the mounts for my air tank, which up under there, you know, this side, you know, the front side on both of them, that side and this side, obviously it's a through bolt. Up under here, there's another bolt, and I just simply marked it and drilled a hole and put a threaded insert in to run the bolt up into that. So that tank is strapped. I do have another tank on the way. I'm gonna run a black, I don't know if I doubt they're anodized. What is it, powder coated? But it's still a spun aluminum tank, but it's the black one. This one I still might, well, that's another story. I have a whole other bed, actually a back half trailer with a short bed on it that I always thought would be cool to put air ride on it, and maybe we'll use this tank and my old compressor. But compressors are going to be mounted right there and over there, and really once that's done, this bed needs to get pulled off. I need to finish welding little things like this needs to get boxed in. I might put another couple cross members in here, or not cross members, but long sections to stiffen it up a little bit. All these joints have been welded from the top, and then Blake went around and knocked them down for me so they were flush, but nothing is welded from the underside yet. I figured it'd be easier to take the bed off and, you know, get that, stand it up and do it from the backside that way. The other thing is trimming around these fenders can be difficult. You know, you got it, whether I'm using wood or steel. So I'm making templates for that, and what works best is one of these guys. I don't even know what you would call it. But if you need the contour of something, you basically can push this in. Well, you can push this in and then pull it out, and it gives you the shape. So I simply had that and sat it on the fender there. So there she is. Like I said, I really like that look with that tire and wheel. I think it fits the truck, but it is amazing the difference. There, looks sporty, racy, muscle truckish. Here, come up over on top of it. It just gives it a different vibe, man. It gives it that classic look. So, you know, I'll probably end up running 2 sets. There's a rim that I was playing around with, like a Battleship gray color. Truck is probably going to be black. It's probably just going to be shot a satin black. Might do some, you know, fake patina stuff, but very mild. I think a lot of guys go overboard with it, and it looks super fake. So I just will paint it black and, you know, go from there. It's been a process. It's slowly getting its character. I really like this look when you open that up. And these brackets turned out sweet. So thanks for checking it out. I will keep you guys updated as I get things done, but it's not, you know, I got 3 young boys, and between that and work and them playing sports and school and everything else, it's a grind, man. Went to church today. Pastor had a great sermon. If you don't go to church, I urge you to. It's good mentally, and obviously it's going to be good for your soul. So anyway, thanks for checking it out. Peace.